Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. All right, hello, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Bookhardt, and today we have an amazing episode lined up just for you. But before we start with our next guest, I want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms. That's right, multiple platforms. Number one, you got to catch us on Dr. B TV. That's DOCTOR. The letter B is in boy, TV on YouTube. So please make sure to share, tag, like, follow, and most importantly, subscribe. Also, Good Faith Wellness Center on Instagram and Facebook pages alike. So don't forget, you want to make sure to go there because you don't want to miss any of the updates about this amazing program. Now, we're going to get right to it. Alderwoman Jennifer Marie Howard-Tate was born and raised in Brookhaven, Mississippi. Got your whole name, right? She was born and raised in Brookhaven, Mississippi, graduated from Brookhaven High School, class of 2000. Jennifer is a multi-talented philanthropist, content creator, destiny pusher, mentor, grief counselor, entrepreneur, among many other things. She founded both the J. Marie Global LLC and J. Marie Global Outreach 501c3. She serves as the vice president and chief operating officer of Bashir Tate Trucking LLC, which was established by her husband, Mr. Bashir Tate. In 2005, Jennifer was elected as Alderwoman for Ward 3 in the city of Brookhaven, Mississippi on April 1st, 2025, and officially took office on July 1st, 2025. Through her imperfections and transparency, she has been commissioned to witness, testify, and share her story to encourage others. Jennifer has been a love for people, and her greatest desire is to love and care for all, no matter where they are in life. There's a whole lot more on that bio, but I'm going to let you hear it from her, from the woman of the hour herself. Stand and cheer, ladies and gentlemen, for the one and the only Alderwoman Jennifer Marie Howard-Tate. Give it to her. How you feeling?
Awesome. I'm feeling well. Thank you, doctor, for having me here. It's such an honor. That I wasn't expecting all of that, so just let me stop smiling a little bit. I really appreciate the warm introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. You're very welcome. Yeah, look, I always say when I bring out the guests, especially that have some extensive bios and experience like yourself, I said, man, is this the same person? That sounded pretty darn good. That sounded good. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, we are excited to have you, and welcome to everyone to another exciting episode. And I'm going to switch back and forth. So to our Instagram family alike, we've got some new folks I see on there, and D Moore, XO and Brell, of course, Crystal Deshay, always a pleasure to see you. There's a Queen CLW, thanks for joining. So yeah, we're going to get right to it. So Alderwoman, is there anything that we missed in your bio? I know it was even more extensive, but I'd love to, for the audience to hear from you if there's anything that we missed.
No, actually, I thank you for keeping it brief because my bio is a little extensive, and those are the things that I've done. So it's part of who I am. And typically, a lot of times when we read bios, people will sum you up into that bio, and that was great. So here I am, front and center, and I'll let you take it and we'll just answer whatever questions you have. But again, thank you for having me here. It's such an honor and pleasure, and I look forward to tonight.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, we'll get right into it. And I want you guys to know that this is a completely interactive program. So we're not here just to be talking heads like on well, I won't say in a network because then they'll say we're bashing networks. So we're not here to be talking heads or pundits. We're here to talk about things. We've got topics to cover, but we want to hear from you. So if there's anything that you want to hear from the Alderwoman and about her companies and things that she and her husband are doing, the trucking company, the philanthropy, the community events. I saw that you had another company, one thing you sent me on Facebook, I looked at that briefly as well. So she's doing a lot of exciting things. And if there's something that you want to know about Telehealth Tuesday, or you have a health-related question, no question, there are no bad questions here. Now, there are definitely bad questions. Okay, there are bad questions. But tonight on Telehealth Tuesday, there's no bad question. Okay, so Alderwoman, tell us all about your 501c3, please. What the J. Marie LLC, what gave you the vision and what motivated you to start your company?
Well, we've been in the 501c3, we've been in business, or we were established in 2009, and about 2023, we rebranded. We used to be heavily Community Development and Empowerment Center. And as I have to say, as the Lord began to do greater things, He told me, Jennifer, I want you to be, go to J. Marie Global. I did not quite understand that. And I'm going to tell you, I just started really getting the revelation here lately. Over the last 3 years, we've been doing some global outreach. We've done outreach in Africa. We've done outreach in Haiti. We've done outreach in Jamaica. And so I'm understanding the global part of it. But when he gave it to me, I thought it was a little fancy. And I said, okay, I'm with it. I've learned over the years now to just be obedient, not always understanding the reason behind why the Lord gives me instructions. I just know if He says it, I do it, and then I'll understand by and by. And so what we build on is total outreach. We start from mentorship, tutorial. We have clothing banks. We are known for our giveaways. That's where we typically bring in a semi-truck. We usually have about 54 pallets, and we've done, over the last 3 years, we've done 9 here in Brookhaven, Mississippi. We've gone to Tylertown. We've gone to Macomb, Mississippi. We've done some outreach in Copiah County. We also connected with a partner with the Mississippi Job Corps, where we've done shoe drives. And so we do a lot of giveaways. On different levels. We just try to meet the needs of the people. If you go to my website, you will see much more. But one of the things that the Lord pressed upon me is to find the need. And when we identify a need, then we go and we try to fill it to the best of our abilities. And so that's what J. Marie Global Outreach is about. J. Marie Global LLC. I am a grief counselor, and so I provide grief counseling services. I'm a notary. I'm an insurance agent. We do some consulting work. So all of that comes under J. Marie Global LLC. So you have the outreach side, and then you have the LLC side.
Excellent. Let's go to. We'll pivot to you becoming an alderwoman. Have you had your eye on public service, or did you just kind of fall into it as some people do? And tell us about that.
Well, the alderwoman position was definitely by default, but I must say that I was born into public service. I've been in community all of my life. As you can see behind me, that's my family. I'm 5th generation in the funeral service business. And so my family has been in this community over 115 years, right? My grandfather was a pillar in this community. My uncle was the first African American who sat in the same seat that I'm sitting in. And so when you think about it, yes, I was born into this. My mother was the first African American election commissioner for District 1, which holds the ward that I'm in, Ward 3. So again, my family has created a lot of history, but it came about, one of my friends who was already an older person began to talk to me, and he asked me, he was like, Jennifer, we need some help. You should come on and join me. Well, my husband and I, we were moving back to Brookhaven. And so I told him, well, that's what my uncle did. So I'll take the call to action. And it was only a conversation, but he did not allow it to be just that. It became manifestation. And here we are. On January the 1st, on January the 2nd, I think I found myself in the city clerk's office applying. And when I put the ink to the paper, it was history.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I take my hat off to those of you that are officials and elected officials, because especially in this climate, in this day and age, and what we have to deal with, these days, and we're just unfortunately in certain parts of the country, we're just not seeing effective leadership, and people just who really have a true heart and a passion for what they do. And and speaking of heart and passion, what is it that we need to do in our communities to help? Because, from my perspective in family medicine and primary care, I'm just seeing so many people that don't have access to care. So many young people like that that are obese. Like when probably you and I were growing up. You had maybe 1 or 2 kids out of the whole class or in the whole school that might have been, diabetics or obese. But, it was not cool. It wasn't okay to do that and to be out of shape and be, so what do we need to do in our communities to get these resources to people, to get these resources to the kids, to make sure that they don't shorten their lifespan from being obese and diabetic?
First, I would say education. We have to continue to educate. I think oftentimes we take for granted knowledge, and we think that because we know, all people know, that's not the case.
Right.
Just had a visit to Washington, D.C., and we were able to speak to one of the senators, and that was one of our concerns. We're talking about obesity, especially in the Black community, right? However, they want to pull all of our benefits, all of our SNAP benefits, fruit, vegetables, those things are very expensive. But you can go to McDonald's and get Wendy's, a 4 for 4 or 5 for 5. Those things are less expensive. And when we are eating these things every day, we're becoming obese. So now you want to talk about we have obese. Well, we have to see what is that underlying, trend. Why are we becoming obese? Why can't we have in the schools, the foods? We try to give the nutritionist foods, but we could do better in so many areas. We could do better. So I think we have to educate, and we have to get back to community. Back in the day, I remember my mom saying that neighbors didn't mind feeding children. What I find, and I know that we're living in hard times, and I think that's even the more reason we have to help one another. We cannot be a selfish generation. A lot of people say, well, as long as me and my kids, we good. It's not good, because if you only care about you and your kids, the kids that are not good, what happens when your kid becomes the victim of those that are not good? What happens when that kid that's not good takes your kid lunchbox because he or she is hungry? When we can do some of these things like helping out to circumvent some of these issues. So it's a big, broad topic, but I think the first thing we have to do is get back to community, loving on one another and being selfless.
Absolutely. I think you made some great points on that. And we just have to we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do in our communities. And, I'll be honest, even though that we are blessed to be able to do the things that you and I do, how do you keep your zest and your energy up? Because I know, when people are looking to you for the answers and everything, it can be really daunting. It can be frustrating. Just take us into maybe a day in the life of an elected official and a businesswoman such that you are, and how you continue to stay grounded, continue to stay motivated so that you may continue to serve the community.
Always remember purpose. Purpose. And the purpose is to serve God's people. this is not a job for me. It's truly a ministry. If I tell people all the time, I'm just not a servant. Or I just don't serve. I am a servant, ladies. That's my life. That's what I do. That's what I was born to do. I was created to serve. I have a gift of giving. And so no matter the obstacles that I face, because I face them daily, I always go back to purpose. And my purpose is to serve his people. And when I lean into that, he always strengthens me. He always reveals the next answer. There have been many, many days that that I'm frustrated because I feel that we could do more. But I must say, the Lord continues to turn. Say, keep your eye on me. Come back. What I tell you, don't worry. And that's I'm gonna be honest, that is my answer. He is my strength. And I know to some it may sound super spiritual, but that is my answer. God is my answer. And I'm here for a purpose, and I know that. I know this is a calling, and I just walk in it, and he provides.
I had my mic muted. Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. And I'm so glad that you are a faith-based person who's clearly not ashamed to say, we know from where our help comes, and that's what I tell patients in the hospital. I had a lady ask me just last week in my clinic. She was like, Doc, how am I doing? What's my prognosis? And I said, hey, we can look at it like, okay, you've got, she has heart failure, she has COPD, she's got pulmonary hypertension, she's on oxygen, she's elderly, overweight, all those things. So I said, you've got a lot of things against you. But I said, hey, no man or no woman knows the hour, but the great physician. And I said, if you find a doctor who tells you otherwise, or like, some doctors and oncologists who will say, oh, you have cancer, you've got 6 weeks to live. Even if the literature says that most patients with pancreatic cancer or whatever may have 6 weeks to 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Look, I never say that. I never say I know, because we don't know. And the moment you have a provider who tells you that, you need to run the other way, because we don't. So that's so important to have faith-based. I see Marcus Wallace is on. I know you know that guy. Marcus Wallace, it's a great show, Doc, man. I appreciate you joining, brother. I know you served a long time in different in the mayorship and in different capacities. So we appreciate your service, man. Good to see you. But Shell's Kitchen is on there. Good to see you. I don't know if you've had any. We have to do a quick shout out to her, Alderwoman. I don't know if you have had any of her cuisine. But I know that because you do a lot of events, and not only for that, but for your personal companies, and you might want to look into some catering from Shell's Kitchen.
I know all about Shell and Shell. I'm telling you, she is phenomenal.
Shout
out, Shell.
She put us together. She
yes,
right.
She is she number one on my list. So yeah.
Absolutely, excellent. And you know what? We'll okay, all right. We're looking at our Instagram people. By the way, quick pause for the cause. Again, we want to let you all know this is fully interactive. So if you have, I know some of you have burning questions out there. So if you have a question for our wonderful guest, or if you have a question for myself, maybe it's a health-related question, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something that you don't feel comfortable talking to your current provider about. This is the place. This is the opportunity. This is the stage for that. So we're grateful that all of you all have come to join us. And hey, look, as I always like to say these cool lines. I was one of my favorite R&B singers would say. He says, there's a lot of places you could be. Alderwoman, he says, there's a lot of places you could be, but instead of that, you chose to take time out of your busy schedule to spend this Tuesday night with us. And for that, I say thank you.
Thank you. But I just got a comment. They said I'm not clear. So am I choppy? Can people not hear me? I'm so sorry.
Did somebody said that?
Yeah, my husband told me you're not clear.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if we can take a quick pause for the calls, and if you want to, I don't know, sometimes it's the phones and it's the network and all that, but I didn't know if it was on just my end. So your husband did say that
Yeah,
it's
he
chopped a little
said
bit. Okay,
it's a little bit we need to do.
you can do the I mean, the laptop that would probably,
I can try to do it.
or if you want to try the headphones, you're gonna do the headphones, the earpiece.
Yeah. Can you
All
take
right,
me down for a minute while I get
all
that
right,
together?
let's
I'm
see.
sorry, people. I'll be right back.
No problem at all. We got you muted there. So what's going on? What's on your mind, everyone? We got Marcus Wallace in the house. Crystal is in the house. Shelly Shell is in the house. You are choppy, but I can hear Jen. Okay. So while she is, we're going to go ahead and there we go. There. All right. So we are going to take some questions from the audience. So what you guys let me know. Okay, yes, it's choppy. Let me know what's going on. You guys want to talk about Ozempic. We want to talk about healthy eating. Shell's Kitchen. Let's talk about what did you have. I've seen some amazing highlights from some of your meals. We want to talk about healthy eating. We want to talk about, tell me about a healthy meal that you've done for one of your clients. So we talk about salt, right? People say that this is one thing we have to stop doing, right? I'll see people salting food before they even taste it, right? Now, we know that when you go certain places, Shell's Kitchen, all these other places, that we know it's going to be good. Even my good friend, you can go to Sprinkle Me and all that. You know that those cupcakes and all those desserts are going to be amazing. There are certain people that you just know, right? So you might not have to doctor that up. But let's say if you go to a new place, you're trying out new food, and you've never had it before, and people will sit there and dump salt and pepper and all that. And pepper's okay. But we have to make sure, look, the more and more salt that you're putting on, especially for elderly people with heart failure, that leads to a lot of swelling, because the fluid, the water, follows the salt, okay? And so that's why people that have chronic lymphedema, which is swelling in the legs, heart failure, kidney issues, chronic kidney disease, and even those on dialysis, you can make the fluid retention worse, right? You can, and just by eating salt. So when people say that, when they say that, hey, I'm trying to watch my salt, it's not just because it sounds cute. It's because this is literally slowly causing fluid retention that can kill you. You can end up drowning in your own fluids, And so I know that sounds graphic. That's terrible, but that's a bad way to go. Same thing with diabetes. Literally, right at the hospital today, we just admitted. Michelle said, "Please don't add salt to my." All right, we won't add salt, Michelle. Look, we just admitted, literally, big shout out, big South Philly, shout out to you. We just admitted a lady, 33 years old, literally 30 minutes before we got on this, 30 minutes before the program, we admitted someone with a blood sugar of 400 something. Her potassium was out, her kidney function, her creatinine level, which is your kidney function. Normally you want that around 0.8 to 1. Hers was 2.5. And so that's more than double the normal number where you want it to be. So that's bad. And so she was dehydrated. She was on the wrong medication, had not seen her doctor or didn't have one. And so that's the issue, right? 33 years old. Right? So somebody who's 33, you've been 33, and there's some viewers that might not even be 33 yet. And so these are the things. We don't want you to be laid up in the hospital like this lady. Just before we came on, 30 minutes before, I was called by the ER doctor to admit this young woman. And it just really breaks my heart to see that. We don't want our community, we don't want you guys to be like that. And so we don't want to see you in there. And then for the elderly folks that have congestive heart failure, all that, when you go through the Christmas, Thanksgiving, and whatever other holidays that people like to barbecue and eat a whole bunch of salt, that's what happens. And then grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, whoever end up going to the hospital because of all the fluid on them, right? And literally only from overeating, overindulging, too much salt. So the last thing we want to talk about, let's talk about salad, because for whatever reason, everybody always says, well, Doc, all I do is eat salad. All I'm doing is eating salad. And I always try to say to people, like, look, I've been doing this too long. You're not going to convince me that tomatoes put all this weight on you. Okay, let's just be honest. So when you do the salad, right? When you do salad, you a spring mix of romaine lettuce, right? Iceberg has no nutritional value. Iceberg lettuce has no nutritional value. So you want to at least do a spring mix, but even better, a good hearty romaine lettuce. If there's no issues with that or no contraindications, right, from a GI standpoint. So you'll do that, tomatoes, cucumber, whatever it is. But when it comes to the cheese, the bacon, all that good stuff that people love, we got to hold off on that. We got to hold off on bacon. You might as, if you're going to do bacon and cheese and load it with ranch, then you might as well eat the darn pork chop, okay? Or a big hearty, huge tomahawk steak. And so we want to make sure that we are being temperate in that. The Bible talks about that, right? So it's not saying that good tasting food or soul food is bad, but we just have to be careful with that. So when you're doing the salad, it's better to take a light vinaigrette, a spritzer, in a bottle if you have it. Some ladies carry it in their purses. You just a couple of sprays on the salad, barely coating it, right? You don't want to have ranch with some lettuce in it. We want to have a salad with just a small, like a little teaspoonful. That's the appropriate way to eat the salad. No bacon, very little cheese, and only a few croutons if possible. So that would be the healthy way. And if you're going to put meat on there instead of ham, instead of fried, you want to do at least a grilled chicken, right? If you want to put, or lean turkey. So that would be the best way to do it. So we just wanted to talk about some things. I know it may sound basic, but we wanted to talk about some healthy eating habits, some things that we either do or we see other people doing every single day for lunch. All right. I'm looking backstage. I see Jennifer, Alderwoman, is back there. How you looking back there? That's pretty good. Let's bring you back on and testing one. Give us a mic check there. Give us a mic check.
Mic check 1 2.
A little bit. We can still hear you, so we can still hear you. I think it's probably just more of a connection thing. It might be a little internet. But we can definitely still hear you. And look, we're gonna put it out there that we're gonna claim it. That, hey, I love virtual, it's very convenient and all that, but we're going to have a studio. This is going to be on WAPT, WLBT, JTV, whatever network, and we won't even have to be bothered with that. We're going to be in the studio with the robot controlled cameras and all that, right? So that's what we're going to do. Matter of fact, I'd say give it up for that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to Michelle, you say that she in kidney. Okay, you're talking about the one. Yeah, she has what you call that would be acute kidney injury, acute renal failure, right? So that means that it's reversible. Chronic kidney disease is like stage 2, 3, 4, stuff like that, 5. Those are things that people, unfortunately, you're going to be stuck there. So that would be chronic kidney disease. This young lady has acute kidney failure. So hopefully, with changing up her medicine, giving her IV fluids, hopefully when we check her levels tomorrow, we would hope to see her kidney function much improved in 24 hours. What we had? Let's see, Tamika Garrett. All right, good to see you. This is also a great healthy topic for you to discuss with Latasha Almeida with Whole Person Health. Hey, Tamika, is that Pete? Is that Pete's wife? Because that's a one-of-a-kind name. Let me know if that's Pete's. Well, I know that he's been in the restaurant business, and I know he has a passion for that. So, yeah, please let me know, and if you'll get me their information, that would be great. All right, Alderwoman. So tell us what's on your mind. What have we missed? And you can just go ahead and dive in if there's something that you wanted to comment on.
No, I was enjoying the healthy topic. Actually, I'm on that journey myself. So you gave me a lot of information just to sprint because I am that branch girl, but I bagged off. So maybe I should start carrying that spritz bottle in my purse. That was a good thing to do.
I know it's hard to do because ranch is delicious. It's the number one dressing in the United States. Ranch. Can't remember what was more popular, ranch or ketchup. Maybe Shell's Kitchen can weigh in and tell us. They were like neck and neck, the most popular dressings and things like that. But yeah, moving on. So let's talk about also in Brookhaven. Brookhaven is an interesting. I know you're Ward 3. You know, Brookhaven is an amazing place. You know, I only went through there one time. I used to work in Macomb, and so you know we passed through Brookhaven. But I like that town. Tell us about when it comes to healthcare and disparities. What would you say, maybe even one of the challenges that you see in your town right there is, and how we might be able to better assist the citizens right in Brookhaven, Mississippi? Let's see. I think. I think we. I see you right there. Are you? I'm not. Let's see. Try this. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I've been unmuted. I don't know how I got muted, but anyway,
That's
um,
sounds good too.
is it? Oh, praise God. So yeah, so how we can help people here. Again, healthy eating, education. Education, I'm gonna for the lack of knowledge we perish. And so um, as younger children are beginning to have children, we're losing some of those, some of those morals, even when it comes to healthy living and eating and, those traditions that we had once before. And so I just want to get back to bringing people like yourself in, dietitians and just having courses, um, trying to get our community more involved to realize we're not living to eat, but or is that the other way around? Yeah, we're eating to live. We're
That's right.
eating to live. Yeah. And if we can just understand, and I think sometimes if they can see, if they can have some visuals saying, listen, if you keep going, because I'm a visual person, put it in front of them. Even with these children, we can, Brookhaven, we're struggling with recreation. We do have our recreation department, but they
Mm.
can only hold so many children. And so the board right now, we're talking about ways we can expand recreational activities to get our children more active. That's a big issue. So education, activity, and then again, just community coming together. When we know Sally Sue only has the ramen noodles, can we take her a Sunday meal? Can we
Mhm.
offer a little more for the kids when they get out of school? So just coming together and trying to be a community as a whole, I think that would help. That's a great start.
Mm. Absolutely. Everybody's saying, "Man, it sounds so much better." I don't know. Did you change something over there, or it just kind of?
I'm gonna tell you, I didn't check. I put my earbuds in, then they went out. Then I went mute, and here we are. So I'm happy you all.
Oh, absolutely. We had a question. Said
Yeah.
everyone loud and clear. We'll back up here. That a person said, "Hello, I have unprotected sex with women with women. Any medication to keep myself out of STDs?" Well, uh, the best. If this is a serious concern of yours, the thing to say is, well, we need to be careful. So if you're going to have unprotected sex, you want to narrow it down to at least one person, and hopefully the other person is doing the same thing as you. But if you are a single person and you are, uh, you know, you're out there dating, and that is your prerogative as an adult and fully consenting people, you want to make sure that it is not unprotected. So that's the first thing, because once you now, most of the STDs are actually treatable, but you don't want to. The unfortunate thing is, in men and women, sometimes that they are actually people are asymptomatic, meaning that you might have something brewing in there, and especially for a woman, if the woman is giving that to you or you're transmitting to another woman, the issue is that can lay dormant and stay in there. And so for somebody who's still wanting to have children or more children, it can lead to sterility up in the fallopian tubes, and that infection is there, sitting there, continuing to fester. You're harboring that, continuing to spread that all around. So that's just all bad news all the way around, not just because it can cause the stinging and burning pains that people always refer to, but it can literally lead to sterility, so that a person cannot have children, and of course, ultimately death. And then there are a couple of things that, of course, that never go away. So to you who asked the question, like we said, there's no question that we're not going to answer, we're not going to address. But definitely the first step is going to be to make sure to protect yourself. And if you are with multiple partners, then, like I say, protecting yourself. But then number two, make sure that you make an informed decision and knowing the risks of that, right? Because there's other things out there in addition to HIV/AIDS. All right. Let's see. Is that question must be on YouTube? I'm not sure, Michelle, but AI says dental dam. Lord have mercy. We done gone into the weeds here. Tell them I said practice celibacy or abstinence. Yeah, well, Michelle, that's a whole nother thing there. That's a whole nother one, because in 2026, yeah, that's easier said than done for a lot of our patients and a lot of people there. But it does sound great, and that's what God would have you to tell people. So we're gonna go with that, Michelle. You're correct. Herpes can be spread from skin to skin. That's correct. You are correct. Recurrent pungent odors can signal infection. Trust AI says trust your nose and your gut. Yep, absolutely. Yep, you are right about that. Speaking of that, we have to, Alderwoman, we talk about the youth a lot. She just made the comment about trust your nose and your gut. There were certain things that people in our generation and older came up with, where either our parents or our church members said, hey, when you do smell something, whether it's body odor, whatever it is, that needs to be fixed. And they taught you how to clean yourself. They taught you to be aware of that. What is going on in this generation, from a health standpoint, in that the children today, they're not even bothered by that, if there's body odor. And then these kids, is this happening in Brookhaven, where young people are in these sweatshirts and hoodies? It's 90 degrees outside, and they're walking around like that, which further adds to the odor problem and all that, poor hygiene, which leads to some medical issues. So what is going on with our differences in the generations?
Again, I guess I can go back, and I would say that parents are younger these days, and I don't know that we're paying the same attention to our children now versus back in the day that grandma and mom paid to us. I don't know that we're giving that same attention. There's so many distractions. We got the social media world. We have, we're out in these nightclubs and we're doing our thing, and everybody's about self. So much so that we forget our responsibility in the house. A lot of us, and that's why I have to go back to education again. We're so wrapped up into our fingernails and our lashes and baby walking out. I go to the elementary school a lot, and my heart is broken because I want to take all of those babies home with me. I'm seeing their hair, the face not being washed. These 7, 8-year-old kids, and I'm saying, Mom, how do we allow our kids to walk out of the door like that? But I won't beat you up. Let's talk about it. How can I assist you? Then sometimes what I'm finding out, it goes back to mental health. The mother is not all the way, she needs some help. She needs someone to comfort her. She needs someone to pour into her. And so here we go. Community. You saw your next door neighbor leave out like that. You see the baby when she leaves out, or when he leaves out without a coat. Is there something we can do? If you don't have the money to do it, can you call an organization to help assist? I think, Dr. Michael, we're just going to have to join forces and help one another, especially in our community. Because I want to say, I think that our community is one of the highest ranked communities who really don't believe in helping one another. And I don't know where that come from. It's like, it's all about self. But I'm good. No, you're not good. If your neighbor's not good, then you're not good. And that's the way it should be. So education, community, and loving one another. We just have to, we got to get that love back.
You know, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. Let me address a couple of these. I'm gonna come right back to that. We're gonna talk about community. Somebody says, finally, I found a doctor. So it kind of burns when I pee. What to do? Well, if it burns when you pee, then that's a couple of things it could be. It could certainly be what we've been talking about, sexually transmitted disease or infection, STI. Could it be a common urinary tract infection, depending on how old you are, male or female? If you've had a catheter in your bladder, all kind of stuff. So the main thing you can do is make an appointment with Good Faith Wellness Center. Okay, that is taking new patients. And you need to come in and get screened, give a urine sample, and go from there. We'd be happy to see you. Beverly Bridges, some are not being taught how to care for their bodies. Absolutely. It takes a village. They've been desensitized. Let's see. People that need help also don't know who can or is willing to help. So knowing how to ask for help is an issue too. That is an excellent point, Marie Cooper. That is an excellent point, and also that that's one thing. You may not know who to ask, which is what you're saying, right? The other thing is what the Alderwoman just mentioned in terms of community, because and that's why I wanted to talk about, where does this come from? And this is a health-related show, but, of course, we're talking about community. We're talking about the company she's had, the vision that she has for Ward 3 and beyond, and what we're doing at Good Faith Wellness. And this is all health. So if anybody's saying, well, how does this tie in? Well, it's all different aspects. But the issue that we have, and you're right, I don't know where this comes from. Everybody always ties back to slavery and all that. And you can think, okay, so in your bio, we talked about all the companies that you've had, you've been successful. You would think that somebody in your community, somebody in your family, your church, whoever, your friends, your sorority sisters would be like, hey, that's my girl, that's Jennifer, that we need to make sure to support her. If we've got two companies right there and they're both good companies, but this one is a minority driven, or this is Jennifer's, well, then it should be a no-brainer that we would support you. That's what other ethnicities do. Everybody, unfortunately, except a lot of African Americans. And so at some point, we've got to stop this. I was just talking about that. We hold each other to a different standard. You know what I'm saying? When a certain young man became president of the country, he was president of the Harvard Law Review and had to have pristine verbal skills and communication and no issues with outside women. He was completely perfect. But another person may get in office and they're well, we won't even get into that. But the standards are so much higher, and we in the minority community hold each other to unfair standards. But then when you go to another place of business, another person, you can look at another community leader, activist, you don't hold them to the same standard. Their behavior is not held to the same standard. So my question to you after saying this would be, how do we ever kind of curb this stuff or nip this in the bud, or do you think it's even possible?
I think all things are possible. However, it's going to take some work. You're going to have to continue to lead by example. It's not going to be easy. And we're going to have to be consistent. And so even, when we talk about community, I think that was Cooper Marie said, some people may not even know who to ask. Well, if you're in community and you see that issue, they shouldn't have to ask. Mm-hmm. When are we going to be the ones the people to say, hey, come here? And that's one of the things that I've tried to do in my own community. Even with the giveaways, it's like, you don't have to have any criteria. And I give from laundry to hygiene, just you name it, we give it, right? I want you to feel that this is a safe space. It doesn't matter if you're the president or if you're the man on the garbage truck. You can come. It's free. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that we tell them when they leave, tell them God did it and pay it forward. Tell them God did it and pay it forward. We don't want you to go, you don't come here and get the free stuff and go sell it. No. Tell them God did it and pay it forward. And hoping that we're planting a seed saying, you know, who is this God that she's serving? How can she keep giving? Because a lot of them know, like, the support isn't heavy over here, right? So, you know, it's not like I'm getting a lot of support. However, I don't lose focus. I continue to lean into purpose. That's why my passion is like, and I was telling some people the other day, when you truly know what you're called to do, come hell or high water, you just stick with it. So again, how do we change? We continue to be the change we want to see. You have to become the light that you want to see in the darkest situation. And if you have to do it by yourself, then continue to do it, knowing that your God will not be mocked and you will always win. And I'll end that part by saying this, because if God be for you,
who can be?
If God, then you ask the question, who?
Who can be?
Who? So we can search the world and find none that can be against me if God is for me.
That's right.
So, if,
Amen.
you know, yeah.
Amen. I love it. Amen. Let's see. Shell says, in some cases, people they won't always admit that they need help. You know, yeah, and that's a good point, Michelle, because a lot of people, we have this unfortunate pride kind of thing, especially in the African American community. We were talking about this, Crystal, we were talking about that just recently, because I was thinking that are people still feeling like going to a therapist is, you know, for crazy people? And she said, well, no, that's probably not the thinking these days, but people are still ashamed, you know, because I know, like, we'll even say if you scroll up, I know some of you are thinking, you know, some of those questions say, oh my, you know, but hey, that could be somebody who was either dealing with an issue or they were, you know, as the young folks say, I'm asking for a friend. But in that friend may be a real friend and maybe that person or under a different alias or whatever. But hey, these are things that need to be addressed. And if this person is truly suffering from issues when they use the restroom or they're having promiscuous activity, this is stuff that needs to be talked about, because again, this is your forum to do it. And if you can't talk either to God or to your doctor, then who? And people always say, I think it's 3 people you should never lie to. I know 2 of them is your doctor and your lawyer. I don't know about I don't know if the 3rd one's your pastor. Is the 3rd one your pastor?
I don't think so.
Okay, man, but definitely your doctor and your lawyer, maybe not.
I know those 2, yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, you know, a lot of people, and the other thing is, Michelle, what I noticed, even in med school, and I tell a funny story, for some reason, and especially I feel like the more intelligent people are, the more professional, the more money they make, they look down on people that ask questions. And I can remember being in a neurology class, and we were studying the spinal cord and all these complicated tracks, and how when people have a stroke on one side of the brain, but it affects the left side of the body. We had to fly a man on a helicopter today, 2 hours or so before this show. We had to put him on a helicopter and send him to UMC Jackson. So, because he had an acute stroke. And so that, even though a lot of people know just in an easy way, so okay, if it's on this side, it affects this side. But the reasoning, right? That's what we studied in med school. And all these students, they would never ask questions. And all the while they're sitting there getting C's, D's, and flunking the exam. Some of them who made it out becoming horrible doctors, right? That I wouldn't send either one of my dogs to. And so, but for some reason we are embarrassed. People think it makes you look dumb or weak or whatever. And that's crazy to me. I mean, you have to ask the questions, whether it's the right question or not. But it makes no sense when you have people like yourself that are there to help give guidance, that are there for the community, that you obviously seem to have the passion for what you're doing. So if there's something they need in your ward or community, you're the person to go to. And if you have questions that are health related, no matter how sensitive, or if you think it's a dumb question or not, or embarrassed, but if it's health related, then you need to ask your primary care provider. And that's why, if you don't have one, and that's why you can go to Good Faith Wellness Center, because we are taking new patients. All right, so let's see. Helena says that was a good, Shell said that was a good word, Alderwoman Jennifer. Thanks for sharing that and for all that you do. Especially, okay, I think we've gotten caught up with that. And I'd probably say, just one of the other topics. So and we can probably even talk offline about this, but what do we need to do right now? Because I'm a person of action. In the meetings, you sit down and you say, well, let's have an action item. What is there a project that you're working on now that even maybe our viewers can join in? That's something that you may need help with, or something there in the community, or volunteering, or even from a healthcare standpoint that we can do to help right now from your standpoint?
Yes, sir. What we're doing, and we're in the process of this pilot. I have a ward meeting on April the 6th, and so I'll roll all that stuff out April the 6th, but we're getting heavy into education. That's in every spectrum. I'm talking about education for health educating. We're in the political. We're going to teach people about your voters' rights. We think, oh, you know about that. No. Every day, our voting rights are being compromised. So we're going to teach you about that. We're bringing in community organizers, NAACP. We've kind of gotten away from that. Well, what is that? And every time we think about NAACP, we want to think about something violent. No. We're going to dismantle distraction. That's what we're doing. We're educating. We have to teach our people. We're bringing in resources like yourself, those that take all insurance, and some that even provide health care for those that are uninsured. We have those resources as well. We are talking about the different resources as far as, that can help you with your utility bills, things that they're lingering, but not quite making it to our community. And so what I'm doing in this season, I had to pivot and say, you know what? Let me just teach the people everything I know. I'm going places, learning things, and I'm coming back, going into the community. My plea and my cry, if the food is prepared, you have to come and eat. We can lay it out, but you must come to eat. You have to, somewhere in scripture that come and let us dine together. We can't, and I'll say this, Dr. Michael, in this season, we can't worry about who's going to help us, because God is going to help us.
Come on.
But once we put this information out, and that's what I'm trying to do, I'm praying and saying, okay, God, how do we build momentum? And the Lord keeps telling me consistency. You keep showing up. And every ward meet, I get an extra person. I think we're like at 60, sometimes 60 people at our ward meetings, and that's big, In our giveaway, we have hundreds of people. But when we talk about education on any level, we have very few people. So we have to. So to answer your question, I want to drive education, and it doesn't matter what we're educating our people about. Let's just continue to educate. We have to continue. And I believe the more you pour in, everything that shouldn't be will filter out. So we're going to pour all that's good, and we're going to be believing everything that's bad is going to come on out of them. So
that's right. I love it. To the person who says, I live in New York, that's all right. That is great. You can help us to spread this great word. Helena Smalls, thank you for joining us. You said I liked and subscribed. Look, we appreciate that, because even from New York, you don't have to be in Mississippi. You can help. I'm sure that there's going to be opportunity to donate to her cause. You can do that from where you are. If you got family, everybody, we found out once I came to Mississippi 13 years ago, we found out everybody has some roots in Mississippi. You've got some people here now. So that might even have some ties to some areas close to her ward. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that, advice from my standpoint is free, and it's always free on Telehealth Tuesday night. So no matter where you are, you can help us all the way to New York to help spread the word. And by the way, Brooklyn, New York, I did 6 weeks there in med school for OBGYN rotation, took the L train. I stayed in Canarsie, took the L train past DeKalb exit, and there was a hospital there called Wyckoff Heights. So if you're still on here, do you know where Wyckoff Heights Hospital is? Let us know. Let's see. The ticked off patriot. I used to live in North Carlton, Mississippi. You know where that is?
North Carlton? I'm not certain. What county is that?
North Carlton said, I live in Buffalo, New York. Oh, it's cold country up there. I live in Buffalo now. Okay. Let's see. Well, yeah, we got a lot of New Yorkers on here. We got a lot of Northerners up here. Don't send any cold weather down. We just got rid of it. Don't send none down there. I'm a heart attack patient with five stents after 3 heart attacks. I'm not obese. Oh, they said Carroll County. Carroll County. You familiar with that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not obese. I'm a heart attack patient with 5 stents after 3 heart attacks. Well, look, that is, you are definitely a blessed person, walking miracle with that many stents. But, and thank you, first of all, for being brave enough to share your medical history on this platform. If you have, if you care to share, because see, there are some people who just have family history of early cardiac death and all that kind of stuff. That mom had a heart attack, father had a heart attack, uncle. So if you don't mind, was that the case with you? Did you start having that as a young person, or was there an issue with cigarette smoking, long-term, heavy alcohol consumption, drugs? That would be interesting. If you don't want to put it on there, that's fine. You can send us an email, or if you want to follow up and discuss, that would be fine. You said it's concerning. Stop eating animals and their products. He doesn't learn. Well, I'm gonna stay away from that one. We don't want to get in between domestics here, but it runs in my family badly. Okay. Yeah, so that's something that unfortunately is genetic. Yeah, that's something that unfortunately you cannot help that one. But moving forward, having heart attacks or people that have had strokes or heart failure, you said all of my brothers have had quadruple heart bypass. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that means in your case, you've got to definitely eat right. I hope you're a vegan by now, my friend, the ticked off patriot. While you're getting ticked off at the Patriots, or you're ticked off patriot, we don't need you to get too ticked off, because that raises all kind of bad stuff, raises your blood pressure. We got to remain calm, ticked off patriot. But on a serious note, I'm sure you're taking it sounds like you're doing what you need to do, taking your medication, keeping your weight down. So that's great. And we'll all know we're almost out of time here, about 5 more minutes. One thing about New York City, it's hard to find Black American doctors. Why? Well, that's a great question. When I was there were a lot of minorities there. But of course, that was, 18 years ago, or whatever, however long. But I know in New York is a melting pot, New York City melting pot of America. But good news is that we can do telehealth visits. If you do come down here, we'd be happy to see you. We give free advice here on Telehealth Tuesday. And then, we are able to do telehealth appointments and things. We can talk more about that. You check out goodfaithwellnesscenter.com, and we'll talk about it. My insurance won't cover it. Brilinta. Okay. Yeah, and we've got some resources. Brilinta is a antiplatelet medication that is expensive, but we've got some case managers that we can lean on and talk to. So we can talk offline after that. Yep, no problem at all. Thank you all for the questions, and all the Northerners and the New Yorkers in the house. Yeah, Brooklyn in the house. Yeah, all right. Alderwoman, so look, before we go, I would love to give you the floor to let us know, again, for those that don't know who you are, that have been living under a rock, who you are, how you can be contacted, if any of your companies, you've got things going on, you're taking on new clients. If you can also maybe remind us about your Ward 3 meeting on April 6th, I think you said, and anything else you want to share with us, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, I will give you my contact information. I am Alderwoman Jennifer Howard-Tate. I'm a community organizer. I call myself a community architect. I build bridges between community and our local, state, and federal representatives. Okay, we're trying to get some help here. So we're going to be building bridges, bringing our realities to those people who make choices and things for us on a daily basis. I think it's very, very important that our voices are always heard. And so, how you can help me? You can help me by encouraging your neighbor. Encourage your neighbor to, number one, vote. Many of our ancestors died for that right. Let's vote. Your
That's right.
vote does count. If your vote did not count, it would not be being compromised even today. We would not be going through the things trying to remove our rights to vote if your vote didn't count. So just remember that. I would like for you to help me educate anyone about their health care. If you see someone in need, if you see a need and you can identify a need and you can meet the need or point them into a direction where the need can be met, you can help me by doing that. You can also help me by loving your neighbor. People, I think it's very important that as community, we come back together. We are a force to be reckoned with, but we must have to know that first. We have to know that there's nothing. We've been through it all, as they say, under the bridge and back over.
That's right.
But if we stay together, we'll conquer all. And so that's how you can help me. If you like to donate, you can donate to J. Marie Global. I am on all platforms. You can find me on Instagram. I am _Jennifer Marie. On Facebook, I'm J. Marie Global. J. Marie Global. J. Marie Global. You can type that in and find me. I'm Alderwoman Jennifer Howard-Tate on Facebook. You can inbox me. My number is public. It's 773-416-0317. 773-416-0317. You can shoot me a text. If there's anything I can do for you, if there's someone in need, if I can't help them, I promise you I can get them some help, whether it's mental health, whether it's they're in need of clothing, food, whatever. We just want to be servants and help those who are in need. And that's how you can help me. Continue to pay your love forward and continue to give help to where help is needed.
Amen. Well, we definitely appreciate the good work that you are doing. And give it up for Alderwoman. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate your time, and that was amazing. And look, for April 6th, and we can probably talk offline. Yeah, I know it's getting a little bit late. We can, if you'll just give me maybe 3 minutes of your time once I wrap up, run the credits. You'll just kind of hang on here because I have an idea for that and how we can maybe partner and help out. But thank you to you all who have been here and been patient with us and been big supporters of Telehealth Tuesday. We want to let you know that we are here each and every Tuesday, okay, 7 p.m. We are here each and every Tuesday. If y'all in New York, for you New Yorkers, so it's 8 o'clock up there. We are Central Time, so it's 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock your time, but 7 o'clock in Central Time. We are here, God willing. This is episode 85. So we've done 85 without fail, 85 episodes. 85 episodes. So we praise God for that. So we're here. We are at Good Faith Wellness Center. We're taking new patients. Look, and I'm seeing a lot of comments on the left side. Look, there was somebody who said, I don't have insurance. Look, well, that no longer is an excuse. At Good Faith Wellness Center, me specifically, if you don't have it, and I got to find a way to flash those things on there, $99, right? $99 a month, cheaper than your cell phone. You can come and have unlimited visits. You could come every day if you wanted to come. Unlimited visits, telehealth, or in person to Good Faith Wellness Center. We want to do our best to hopefully help you stay healthy or get you healthy so that you don't have to go to the hospital and see me there. So that's one thing. We've got plans for couples, $179 a month, and also for a family of four people, in the household for $229 a month. So you won't find anything. I've even looked at people who have similar. We are the lowest with that. So nobody has an excuse. If you got insurance, whether it's good insurance or bad insurance, at this point right now, currently we do take it. And that's Obamacare, Your Mama Care, Everybody Care. We care. So we take all of that. So God willing, look, we're going to see you next Tuesday. We're going to have another amazing guest. We're continuing to go higher every week. So make sure that you share, tag, like, and subscribe. Like one of the comments said, the Dr. B TV, DOCTOR, the letter B, TV for YouTube. So you guys will never miss a beat. And if you logged on late, or if you missed some, or if you want to look back at all our episodes, all 85 episodes will be there, right there on that YouTube channel. So if you have a long drive or you just can't go to sleep at night, turn on Dr. B TV and we will keep you company. All right. So if there's nothing else, we will see y'all then. Thank you so much. And God bless you guys. And remember that true wealth begins with good health. We'll see you next Tuesday. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health.